Hello, this is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie, your manga panel to anime panel perspective checker.
Yeah, Demon Slayer did a thing.
um, I'll have to apologize for last week. I was working in the commerce mines and could not edit the episode, so we had to cancel.
You're advancing the commerce tech tree in your Civ.
It's
2000
true.
and yeah.
It's true. I was seeking the most dishonorable of victories and an economic one. So what were you all doing?
I'm Blackle. I have not been up too much, just sort of hanging out, trying to like. Well, actually, I'm putting together a new update for my cursed computer iceberg, so that's been fun to sort of like
that's
go
fun.
into the ancient tomes and find new content. I bought a book that has like basically every other page is something extremely cursed, and I'm like, it's become a question of what from the book should I take, because I can't take everything, because then it would be like huge.
Just lovingly curate this content.
I'm a little upset because I'm pretty sure that computer iceberg meme is more famous than this podcast.
That's alas.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, oh well.
Hello.
People like cursed content.
I'm Joey, and this week I watched Akiba Made War, which is good. Go watch Akiba Made War. I also caught up on the anime and the manga of Dr. Stone, which is complete, so I know everything now.
we got Rick Stone's biography right here.
And let me tell you, the ending is a doozy. It's a lot. It gave me a small crisis while I was trying to sleep. Which I think is a good sign. I think that's a good thing. Consume Dr. Stone if you're into that kind of story.
Well, I mean, they say the goal of art is to elicit feeling, and existential terror is a feeling.
It sure is.
Yeah, science.
Yeah, science. Louis also been eating
I've also been doing the Dr. Stone dance. I'm currently on chapter 183 out of 235, something like that.
Yeah, so you're getting close to being done too.
Yeah, and then I'm tackling Demon Slayer after that, probably.
Woohoo!
Also, One Piece personally attacked me this week, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm rooting for it to be a fake out. Otherwise, I'm sorry for your loss.
So you guys want some news?
Yeah, let's have some news.
I got some pretty good news here. So, in this week's edition of fucking anime directors just be saying shit, Makoto Shinkai said the original script for Suzume was going to be a romance between two girls, but his producers convinced him to quote pick subject matter that resonated with a large audience. So he turned that character into a chair.
That does resonate with a large audience.
King shit.
I really appreciate whenever somebody asks an anime director about something and they're just like, "Oh yeah, it was supposed to be that way, but my production assistant is an asshole." And he wouldn't shut up.
Very funny. I've actually heard that one's good though.
Well, yeah, I quite like Makoto Shinkai's anime.
Maybe we'll get Yuri next.
If only.
Let's see. Our next one is Toei Animation is set to kickstart a musical original anime project, which is called Girls Band Cry, which appears to have some punk sensibilities and has managed to piss off a bunch of DBZ fans.
Oh, really?
Because they dropped the trailer and immediately all the comments they got were, Dragon Ball Super has been on hiatus for 5 years, Toei.
Yeah, but like, It's so long running. You just gotta expect that one's gonna be going forever.
But yeah, so they're all super pissed off. And finally, I saved this one for last because it's the best. It'll be accompanied by images for the hosts here, which is school textbooks have been from Bolivia have been found plagiarizing popular anime art.
Oh, uh-oh.
Incredible.
Specifically, the cover artists the government hired have been found to have heavily plagiarized key art from
Orange.
From Orange and Your Lie in April.
That's incredible.
Weathering with You, Fruits Basket.
Incredible.
Weeb. So
pretty okay taste so far, I think.
I would consider these homages personally.
Well,
no, these are full on traced.
These are trace jobs.
These are absolutely traced.
The Bolivian government has said that they are looking into possibly punishing the people responsible.
You're going to get a spanking.
Life in prison.
But they will not be recalling the textbooks because because quote unquote there is nothing wrong with the contents.
Wow.
That's fucking incredible.
The fucking basketball player is like not even playing basketball in the source image. That's hilarious.
I mean, they made it, it doesn't look bad.
So yeah, that's our news. I believe, Joe, you had something for us, right?
I have been charged with our execution because a Blackle did express a desire to be absolutely murdered.
Correct.
So we're pulling out what could possibly, and I hope will be, a cognito hazard. So this week we are going to be watching My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute.
Oh God! I'll never get it away from this for so long.
I'm regretting what I've been saying.
I've seen it. Like I've seen it a lot. I've seen it on Twitter and stuff, and my eyes just like roll off of it. Like my mind is trying to protect me from something.
You're trying to protect you from.
But I guess we have to confront it now.
No, I'm gonna be the brave one and stand up for all of us and say no.
Well, unfortunately, that's the one.
I tried.
So to sum up my feelings on this show, I'm going to quote Sideshow Bob when he said,
Yeah, so this one was wretched.
This was.
I have extremely complicated feelings about this show, and I don't like any of them.
I know.
Let's so who wants this blurb? I mean, I can read it, but does anybody want
it?
Would you want to? You want me to flex my narration voice on this?
Do it.
Okay. All right. Kirino Kosaka embodies the ideal student with equally entrancing looks. Her grades are near perfect, and to cover her personal expenses, she works as a professional model alongside her best friend Ayase Aragaki, who abhors liars and all things otaku. But what Ayase doesn't know is Kirino harbors a deep, entrenched secret that will soon be brought to light. At home one day, Kiyosuke, Kirino's perfectly average brother, stumbles upon an erotic game that belongs to none other than his seemingly flawless little sister. With her reputation at stake, Kirino places a gag order on her sibling while simultaneously introducing him to the world of eroge and anime. Through Kirino, Kiyosuke encounters the gothic Lolita Ruri Goko and the bespectacled otaku Saori Makishima. thus jump-starting an entirely new lifestyle. But as he becomes more and more involved in his little sister's secret life, it becomes that much harder to keep under wraps.
Did anyone notice that most of the music in this show is ska?
Yes, I thought it was. I literally wrote doot doot music.
Doot doot.
Right?
I'm gonna mention. I'll mention that again later, but So yeah, let's get into this. Our real protagonist here is Kiyosuke. That's our viewpoint character.
Yeah.
He is standard anime man. I would say of the Haruki Suzumiya subtype. He's kind of grouchy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's our guy. And we open on his alarm waking him up in the morning. And his door opens and in comes in some pretty hilarious slippers.
They're good.
It was like animated on ones too.
A young woman comes in, stops his alarm clock and says, "Really, how long are you going to stay in bed?" And she throws his curtains open and he says, I made breakfast for you and it's getting cold down there. Now give me your shirt and I'll throw it in the and he grabs her by the wrist and says, "Who the fuck are you?"
Basically lucid dreaming.
This is just like, there's no way my sister would give a shit about me. Who are you?
Yeah. Get out of my room.
Get out of my house. And then he wakes up on the floor because he's rolled out of bed.
Yes, he was having a dream.
Because it was a dream.
It was a dream, of course.
His actual little sister's kind of a bitch.
He did say the line.
Yeah, couldn't possibly be this huge. Yeah, they said the thing. Okay, got it out of the way. Yes. But she's like lightly bitchy. I'll reel that back a little. But
she's like a standard like 13 to 14-year-old. Like,
yeah.
This is just how they are.
But so we go through that. We go through his morning where he's eating like mackerel and rice for breakfast because the Japanese are a different culture. They're just a different people.
Yeah.
With his stone-faced dad and Pokemon mother.
It's really true.
His dad looks so familiar, and I don't know where to place him.
His dad looks like a background character from Baki.
Yeah.
Like he's drawn with lower detail, so he looks more normal.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a martial artist, but and all he says in this scene is just like, "Oh, I see," because they're discussing Kuruno and how she's left early for practice, and she's like, "Oh, she might, make it to state this time." I think she's like a runner or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Some sort of sports.
Chess master, exactly. While this is going on, Kiyosuke says, thanks for the food under his breath, and cleans up everything. Sets out to school to hang out with his mousy girl companion, who clearly likes him. But already
she's adorable.
Got big round glasses.
I like her.
So yeah, they're walking in. What are they discussing in this part? I can't remember.
They're discussing his
they're
sister.
Just broadly talking about how cool Kuruno is and how fucking lame he is and how she's ruining it for him by being cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just tone it the fuck down a notch.
And then he tells his friend, he's like, "You're so normal. You could be the queen of normal." And she's like, "Oh, you." And he's like, "That wasn't a compliment."
Like, it wasn't a compliment. I'm trying to be. I'm sorry. I'm being a prick.
That was pretty funny.
I'm just grouchy today. It's not your fault. And he goes through all of his. We go through all of his classes, and they somehow all touch on the subject of like little sisters, and it begins to drive him partially insane.
Yeah.
To the point where he's crossing out people's fucking people from Chinese history's name in his textbook because they have the fucking syllable imoko in there.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And we cut to him walking away. He's just like, "What the fuck was that? What? Like, how did all that happen? Is it a coincidence? Is some sort of like fucking holiday I'm not aware of?" And his friend is just like, "What?"
Mind?
His friend is just like, "Are you okay?" He's just like, "No, don't worry about it. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's fine.
Don't worry, I'm not okay."
Anyway, so they walk home together, like as they clearly do every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the B plot I want to focus on.
I know, right?
This is not a B plot. This is a fucking F
You're
plot.
stalling.
But so yeah, he gets home. You know, he starts hanging up all the shit, changes into civilian clothes. The uniform lifestyle has got to be so weird. Like, what if you're like outside of like the Japanese norm for like body type?
Yeah.
Like, what do?
That would be rough.
You just look like one of the goons from Cromartie High where your shirt doesn't fit.
Oh no.
Because you're 15 years old and you're 6'4".
Yeah.
And you're built like fucking Jotaro Kujo.
Yeah. You're just having some feelings about your own life, aren't you?
Well, I never had to experience this particular kind of torment. So,
right. That's what I'm saying. You're imagining it.
but yeah. So yeah, he's home, and you know he walks into the living room, and it's just like she's on the couch, having shed her like weird fucking slippers. That what do they look like?
They're
Do
like
they
little
like an
whale or
octopus?
fish, or maybe like a catfish or
Cthulhu?
something, because they had little whiskers.
They're like green. They kind of remind me of Cubert. That's what they remind me of. She's wearing little Cuberts, but anyway, they're on the floor, and she's already gone to like full pajama mode.
She's like wiggling her feet, and they focus on the feet for.
They commit a brief Tarantino sin.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like talking to her friend, and she bleh, glares at him for a second. He's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." He's like, "I'm back," and he pours himself some orange juice and like drinks. It's like slugs it. Was it iced tea?
Chugged some iced tea. Yeah, I had to go back.
Chugs
to, like,
iced
double
tea.
check what the fuck just happened.
He's so thirsty.
What a fucking freak!
Yeah.
But he drinks it like a shot.
Yeah.
It's like a whole glass too.
He's just like, "All right, fine, I'm gonna go up to my room." And as he's headed up the stairs, he's just like, "Oh shit, I left the carton out." So he turns around to go back in, and she's coming out, and they just fucking run into each other, just full body, blunk. And it's a slow motion scene where they're like falling away from each other. They're like, "Ah, shit!" And you think like somebody's gonna catch one of them, or no, they don't just land on their ass.
Yep.
And it's like weird. It's like weirdly shocking because that slow mo is reserved in anime for somebody to get caught while they're falling, and just seeing somebody complete the action is like a weird anticlimax. But whatever. That's just because I've been brain scorched by too much of this medium.
Correct.
So yeah, he's just like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. Are you okay?" And he stands up to help her get her shit together because she dropped her purse, and she's like, "Don't touch it." It's like, oh,
smacks him. She slaps him a lot in this show.
Yeah, she physically slaps him
a lot,
which would lead anybody to be suspicious. They'd be like, "Hey, wait a fucking second.
Like, are you? What are you? Okay.
What are you hiding?" But
whatever.
But yeah, he stands up, and she's just like, "I'm going out," and she leaves. And he's just like, "What the fuck?" And he looks down at this point, and this is where the actual plot kicks off, because he spies like a weird case on the floor, and he's like, "What is this?" And he picks it up, and he's just like, "Magical girl, what is it called?"
Stardust Witch something.
Stardust Witch something like.
Something.
And he's just
along
like,
those
he's just like,
lines.
what the fuck is this weeaboo shit?
Physically, on the front, it looks like Precure.
It looks like Precure.
It's like a little magical girl.
And he's just like, who the fuck does this belong to? And he takes it to his room. And he sits there and he's like trying to go through. He's just like, well, it's not my dad's. It's not my mom's. And he pops it open and there's a DVD inside. And he's just like, and he reads just fucking, Sister Love R18. And he just stops for a second and he just goes, what the fuck? I can't be caught with this.
He just imagines all his family's reactions.
My favorite is like he goes through it and his sister's just like gross and his mom is just like, oh dear. And it cuts to his dad and his dad just says, die.
Which is so funny.
Perish.
Die.
And his mom almost walks in on him with it. And he's just like, oh shit. And he like rolls over.
He rolls himself into a little
with his
blanket
body.
burrito.
And she's clearly just like, oh, I've caught the boy masturbating.
she just makes
I'll come back later.
She's like, oh, you needed some privacy, didn't you? And he's like, knock first.
I'll make sure to knock. His mom's great. But
yeah, it's very funny.
She's like, you should lock your door when you do that. But he rolls back over and he's just like, shit, I gotta get rid of this. I gotta get rid of this. But who the fuck does it belong to?
Yeah.
So we cut from that scene to later on when Kirino has returned and they're eating dinner. They're all gathered around the table. And it's just like mom and dad. They're like eating in like silence, which is something that anime people do.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was just like, wow, do you really not like each other that much? But,
sometimes people eat in silence if they're like focusing on eating.
Yeah, but they're not even looking at it. It's stopping to like look at each other every now and then. They're just staring at their plates like somebody's fucking died. But he's just sitting there and he's just like my friend was telling me about this anime. I forget what it's called. It was Stardust something or other. I was wondering if I should get into it. His mom is just like, oh dear, that otaku stuff. That's just trash. And isn't that right, honey? And her husband is just like, he's just like, don't rot your brain with that filth.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, if that's how you feel about it, all right. So he's just like, okay, it doesn't belong to either of them. And he just side eyes his sister, and she's just like fucking tweaking out like she's missed to hit a crack.
She's like trembling. She's like, I'm leaving.
She's shaking like an L.A. Noire witness.
I need you to also know that on the TV they're like watching a crime show, and one of them says the culprit is among us.
Among us.
So she just stands bolt upright. She's like, "Thank you for the food. Goodbye."
Yeah.
He's just like, Naruhodo.
I see.
He's like, okay, I'm going to the convenience store. Do you want anything? He's like, oh, I want some ice cream. It's like, okay. So he goes to the hallway, and he very loudly just says, "Okay, I'm going out now." And he puts on his shoes and he opens the door and he goes out and he just turns back and looks at the house. And he just sees the light to his room flicker on, and he's like, "No fucking way!"
Yeah.
Do you know what's whack? Is this whole thing is played like as quirky, but like this could very easily be like a domestic horror movie.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, he creeps back up there and he opens the door, and she's like halfway under the bed. He's just like, "What the fuck are you doing in here?" And she's just like, "It's none of your business." I'm just like, "It's my room."
Yeah.
She's just like, what are you doing in here? She's like, "Get out of my way. I'm leaving." She's like, "No, what are you doing in here?" She's like, "Move." And he's just like, "Were you looking for this?"
Dun dun dun.
And he's like holding it above her head because she's too short to get it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, he's just like, "No, I wasn't looking for that." It's like, then why are you snatching at it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's hers, and
Definitely, yeah.
And he's just like, "You know what? Fine. It's not yours. That's fine. Could you throw it out for me?" And she's just like, "What?" And he's just like, Well, if it's not yours, and I don't want to carry it around, so you just go ahead and throw it away for me, right? She's just like, oh, okay, and she takes it and leaves. And he's just like, okay, what the fuck ever.
Like, yeah, whatever.
I
Time
forgot
for
to buy
bed.
the fucking ice cream. Shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, he decides to just put it out of his mind and go to sleep, like a normal person. He's just like, you know what? I've had enough.
Yeah.
The mystery is not that
gonna ruin
interesting.
my day.
But it's already gone too far. Because he's awoken by being slapped in the face.
Yet again.
She's just crouching over him.
Yeah, this scene freaked me out. I was like, oh no.
This whole show is the same feeling as just like a chimpanzee holding a loaded gun. Just like
he's got a gun.
At any moment, something absolutely heinous and horrifying can happen. But it's almost as the show doesn't know what it's doing.
It doesn't know it's threatening you with a knife.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like watching a drunk person cut sashimi really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, get up, we have to talk. He's just like,
I want life counseling.
He's just like, okay. Just like, come to my room, we're talking. It's like, okay, fine, I guess. And here it is. She's like, you said you wouldn't make fun of me if this was my hobby. And she's like, well, yeah, it's not really any of my business what you do. And I get the impression that he's just like, yeah, it's weird, but I don't really care that much.
Yeah, kind of.
Not gonna ruin my day.
And she walks past him and pushes a bookshelf out of the way, and he's like, holy shit, you have a closet? Because apparently it was a Japanese style room before, so like one wall was technically like open, so it's got a sliding door in it. She's like, this space existed, so I turned it into this, and she slides it open, and she's got a full stock of all of this shit.
It literally looks like the back rooms of a comic book store in there.
Yes.
It's like she is clearly too deep into this. She's got the boxed figures, not just the figures that she's taken out, but the ones that are mint in box.
Yes.
And she starts to go off on a tirade about how she has every fucking volume of this, and then she has this, and she has all of these computer games, and she stacks them up to the fucking ceiling, and he's just sort of sitting there like dumbfounded because he's looking at like the familial equivalent of discovering a serial killer wall of death.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know what to say. Why did you bring me in here to show me this?
How did you even
How do you afford this shit? And she's like, oh, I do a little modeling.
Inexplicable special interest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the implication here, which he and the viewer are going through, are always thinking about, but apparently she is not, is just a bit like, why do you like this shit so much? Because it is all like Emoto fetish stuff.
Yes.
Like all of it. And he's just like, what? Why do you like this shit? And
like, you don't want to smooch a brother, do you?
And she like crawls up to him and stares him in the face. And he's just like sweating. And
he's like,
I said, this could
wait a second.
Very easily be a horror movie.
Wait.
No.
And she says, don't they look cute to you? He's just like, So we reveal the premise, which is this guy's little sister has a little sister fetish.
Yes.
And no little sister.
That's the thing.
I don't think anyone saw that coming.
And the scene goes on, and she's just like, do you think this shit is weird? And he's just like, listen, it's none of my business.
He's just like, I was surprised. He's
I'm
very
surprised.
much dancing around it. He's like, no, I was surprised, but listen, I don't hate you.
He's trying to be nice.
Yeah, he is.
He's been remarkably patient. But he's trying to be nice to her, and he's just like, listen, it's your money. I don't care how you spend it. And she's like, I don't know. It is weird for me to have this shit. Should I tell mom and dad? He's just like, do not tell our parents about this shit.
You can't.
He's just like, all right, fine. I know what I'll do. I will help you keep all of this shit a secret, all right? If you ever need anything, I don't know what I can do, but if you ever need anything to that effect, fine, I will help you. Good night. Goodbye. And he goes back to sleep. And then like an hour later, she fucking slaps him again. She's just like, I need more life advice.
Yep.
And she goes in there and she makes him play one of her fucking visual novels. The imagery in this is like bad.
Oh yes, this scene scared me so bad. I was like, no.
I pressed the right arrow key a couple times.
It is too much because the game that she has him play, this is like
His sister is like a 6-year-old.
She is tiny. I don't like it.
It's bad.
And she's presented with a choice. It's just like, oh, your sister has climbed up into bed with you. What do you do? Do you hug her? And he just like kick her out of bed.
And she's like, why'd you do that?
How could you do that to Shiori? It's just like little sisters should have more respect for their brothers. She's like, what? And you're like, nothing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, it's just like when I said that I would help you, I did not mean this. She's just like, so you are making fun of me. And she's like, no, fuck.
She's like, you're just prejudiced against this hobby. And I was like, maybe you should be.
We'll get to that.
Gaming racist.
And he's just like, listen, this is a fucking eroge, right? Do you not see how weird this is to do this together? Given the subject matter? And she's just like, it takes her like a second, and there's like a beat, and she's just like, oh God, you fucking pervert!
Yeah. He's like, isn't it more freaky to not think about that?
He's just like, it's like, of course I should think about this thing.
He's right.
He's just like, well, fine, I'll get the all ages version. He's like, why didn't you use that in the first place? And she's like, well, you don't get the whole story if you don't play the original.
Jesus Christ.
And he's just like, you know what, fucking fine. Just lend me your laptop and this fucking filth and I'll play through it.
I'll just do it on my own time, okay?
And she's just like, that's your homework. Finish it by next week. Now, that's pretty much the end of the episode. So, things I'm going to say about this. The show is excellently animated, has great character designs, and I like the incidental music a lot.
The ska.
I do like the ska. Really, I think it's very appropriate to the show. On the other hand, every moment of this show makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, like they're trying to make this like seem wholesome, and it's not. It
has moments of it. That's the upsetting part where you're just like, he's a good brother for not
wait a minute,
being mean to her, and I'm just like, wait a second, maybe he should be mean to her.
Maybe he needs to get her, like, maybe they do need to tell their parents, like, this is legitimate.
Maybe they should get a therapist.
Legitimately, maybe.
Because like the moral, I guess the through line here is it's just like you shouldn't bully your little sister about her weird special interest, but because she's a girl. And I was just like, yeah, I agree. You should bully anyone about this special interest. Stop watching this freak shit.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's like, it's weird because it's like, they also try and like make you like feel for her, and like in a sense I do like this is like feels like a sickness, you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't like choose to be this way, but like that doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's okay.
I think the thing is like the sort of like framing of this show just makes it so incomprehensible, because it's like I said, like this would be better suited as like, because it's kind of compelling as a story if it was like a fucking horror movie.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing
thriller. But like if it's like a cute like
yeah, they want you to feel for her. They want you to be like, oh, this isn't that bad. he should. They want you to feel that way, and it's really I don't know.
I don't know. There is some sort of cultural brain damage just around that one thing, and I'm not. And I don't feel bad about pointing out how fucking weird it is. And I know why. I like know why it exists too.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason that like fetish is so prevalent over there is that like a lot of Japanese guys don't fucking know any women.
Yeah.
They don't know any women they aren't related to.
Yeah.
So
like it's sort also I can see it being like younger and smaller, I must protect sort of deal, and then it just gets taken too far.
But this shit has got to be so weird to sell to like localizers.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being the guy whose job is to buy shit like this, and you're just like I don't know about this one. It's getting a little too blatant. We can't really write around it.
Yeah. Published by 4Kids.
Published by 4Kids. The 4Kids cut of this, whenever she pushes the fucking bookshelf aside, and there's just a black rectangle.
This is my empty room. Isn't it interesting?
God.
I keep my nothing here.
In order to localize it, like inexplicably, they make it about her having like a gun interest.
No, even
like that would localize better.
She collects empty DVD cases. She's like, aren't these DVD cases cute?
Blacklet really fucking gets me, because like I said, she fucking reveals the secret room, and it's just full of like 3-line rifles and shit, and like fucking Soviet military
instead of him finding a fetish DVD, it's a fucking Glock.
Funny. You're really good at it.
She finds a fucking Makarov, and it's just like
how did you even get this?
This is the most illegal thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I think they fixed the show. That's how you localize it. You just make with that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the show I like. Where he has to hide his sister's obsession with like fucking Soviet military paraphernalia.
It's like all of these are loaded.
Oh god,
this is really dangerous.
They are all loaded, that's for sure.
She's just like, of course they're not loaded, and she just plunks the fucking 500-round canister on it.
Yeah.
I keep all the ammunition here.
God damn.
Don't worry about it. So,
and it's like in a fucking barrel of ammunition. It's like, you are turbo. This is turbo illegal.
I can't believe my little sister is a tankie.
Something very strange that I noticed about this show that I think this is the time to bring it up. When I was looking at the episode list,
yeah, because JoJo gave us the link to this and refused to let us look at the bigger list of episodes.
For some reason, there are 15 episodes of this. Episode 12? There are 2 episode 12s. One is titled Episode 12 Good End, and one is Episode 12 True Route. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I'm terrified.
This is
I hate it.
This is like a fucking choose your own adventure shit.
It's like no. It goes in cycles like Higurashi.
But then
at the end of the first arc, she fucking kills him.
No, that would be funny. And I know this isn't gonna be that funny. Anyhow, it also
I do desperately want to watch My Little Sister is a Soviet rifle expert.
Me too. Why did we?
I know we finished that conversation already, but I need to see this now.
My little sister has a Mosin. Anyway, if you'd like to tell us about your non-little sister related special interest, you can do so at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. Hey, if you wanna, I don't know, we have a Twitter. We're at 1 episode cast. Sometimes there's not a joke.
If you want to buy a Red Army Ushanka, I know where you can get or you can get one.
You want to talk about your gun-related special interests, please DM us on Twitter.
You
At
There's
1
no stuff in
episode
the clear
cast.
net.
you never asked if we were gonna watch more of this.
Oh yeah, how many of us are not going to watch
Louis,
more of this?
Louis, are you
I'm
going to
not.
watch more of this?
Fuck no.
It's gonna be a hard pass
This
for
shit-
all of us, y'all.
Yeah.
This shit had my like arm hair on end on edge the entire time.
Just like standing
It's
up.
Like I said, it's like being in a room with a chimpanzee with a loaded gun.
like it's the same feeling that it's the same thing Jupe feels it in fucking Nope. When he's watching the chimp roam the set.
Ah, Jesus. Well,
Good night.
anyhow, get out of here.